When Blizzard did a big oopsie. Oh, this one's on TikTok. Okay. Oh, it's Deej. All right, let's see it.
What happens when you get the strongest item in the game?
This is a 7-minute video. Yo, Chad, do you guys want to watch this? It's the story behind WoW's strongest item. I have not seen this. Oh, this one went super viral too. Millions of people watch this. Oh, it's about Dragonflight. I kind of want to see it. Everyone's saying no. Damn. If it's Dragonflight, I'll skip. I kind of... If it's classic... Bro, it looks like it's classic.
Until March 2009.
Wait, I kind of want to watch this. You guys want to watch it? It's about a GM chess piece. It's not about Dragonflight. It's a GM item. Wait, I kind of want to watch this then. I don't know about this. Why would I not watch this? It's a GM item? Yeah, let's watch this. All right, getting a powerful item.
Getting a powerful item feels good, but what happens when you get the strongest item in the game? And I'm definitely not talking about something in the loot table. I'm talking about a secret item. An item that feels a little too strong. An item that you probably shouldn't have gotten in the first place.
Martin Fury. I've never heard of this. Mana strength kills all enemies in a 30-yard radius. 100 charges. So it's like a GM item.
Believe it or not, there have been several times where players have accidentally received items that were only supposed to be for GMs. And what the players did next, well, you'll be surprised. There was this dude named Leroy Spells, and he and his guild were raiding through Wrath of the Lich King when all of a sudden he disconnected. Now, DCs, they happen all the time. It's not the biggest deal in the world. You just reload the game and log back in.
Yeah,
so
true.
Leroy put in his account details and... worst case scenario. Now, if you played WoW back in the day, you know what that screen means. And if you didn't, let me explain. So in the early days of WoW, before the days where everyone had authenticators, it was pretty common to get hacked. Usually the hacker would gain access through the email.
Did you guys ever use those Blizzard authenticators? Like the little authenticator like keychains that he showed on the screen? I forgot about those. Yeah, I think I had one of those for a minute. I still do? Wait, you still have one? Do they still work? Oh my gosh. Guys, this is like, you can get an app on your phone now, man. It's 2024. Get the battle.net app. You don't need to use the authenticators anymore. Oh, my battery died. I have it. It still works. Well, hey, man, if it's working for you.
Hacked. Usually, the hacker would gain access through the email address associated with the account, and they'd go in and change your password and lock you out. Then, if you were already online at the time that the hacker tried to log in, it would knock you off so they could get in the game. Where you'd normally just reload the game, try to log back in, and boom, you'd be hit with this screen. And after double and triple checking to make sure that you didn't panic typo your password, a grim reality would begin to set in. You've been hacked.
Yeah.
Now, when you were hacked back in the day...
I remember when I was like 12 years old, or like, I think I was like 14 at this time. We were doing a family, like a weekend away to, like a little like weekend away for a vacation, right? And before we left, I changed my password for World of Warcraft. I don't know why I did. I think I was like paranoid. I was like, oh, I want to change it because of some, I don't remember why. So I changed it. And when we came back, I forgot I changed it, right? It was like, we came back on a Sunday, we left on like a Friday. I log in and I got that screen. I was so sad. I remember I was crying. Maybe, yeah, I was probably like 13, 14 or something. I was like so mad. I was like, I got hacked. I was trying to call Blizzard. They wouldn't answer because it's Sunday, of course. And I'm just like freaking out. And then after like full-blown panic attack for like 3 hours, yeah, WoW was my life. I remember that I changed my password. And I just logged in and I was fine. I still, like, as a 30-year-old, remember that. Like, it was so scary, man. I was like, my account's gone, Mom. There's nothing I can do.
They didn't just take your gold. They literally took everything. They would sell every single item in your bags, your bank, and worst of all, they'd go through your character. They'd unequip all of your armor that you spent months farming. They would vendor it, and they'd take all the gold and send it to some burner account.
That's what I was afraid of.
Your main character would be left with nothing. And dude, if you had more than one character, they'd be cleaned out too. So by the time you finally managed to secure your account and log back in, this is what you'd see.
That's why I was crying.
Character with not a single copper to their name. And this is exactly what happened to Leroy Spells. They logged back in, ready to progress the latest raid with their guild, just to see their beloved character in rags. But it gets way worse. Leroy was actually an officer in the guild, and that comes with unrestricted and unlimited guild bank access, which you already know the hacker took full advantage of and cleaned the entire place out.
Yep.
And they also decided, you know what, let's just delete a couple of Leroy's characters too. So because of this hack, Leroy lost a bunch of his characters, all of his items on his account, and all of the items in the guild bank. But Blizzard did have a solution to restore all of his account and his lost items and his lost characters. Like I said before, this was a pretty common problem back in the day, so when Blizzard received tickets like this, they'd know what to do. Basically, you just open up a ticket saying that you've been hacked, listing out the damage that had done, and Blizzard would then try to restore whatever was lost. So that's exactly what Leroy did. But sadly, he never heard back. Now, this was around December 2008, and the situation would remain quiet until March 2009. Leroy was pretty much back to normal. He was back on the raiding roster. They were in the middle of a 25-man Obsidian Sanctum when all of a sudden, they encountered a loot error. The GM of the guild, his name was Karate Chop, he accidentally gave an item to Leroy that was supposed to go to somebody else. So Leroy, being a good guildmate, decided to open up a ticket to see if Blizzard could give the item to the right player. And this time, they were actually pretty quick. They got the item restored, and then they followed up with Leroy asking if he had heard anything about his account that was hacked a couple of months ago. Leroy was like, nah, you guys kind of ghosted me, and then they went back and forth in the emails for a little bit, but he wasn't hopeful. But all of that would change in mid-April, when Leroy would log back in to a fully restored account. Everything was there. His characters, his items, all of it. And on each one of his characters, there was an in-game mail from Blizzard, which, to be honest, is totally ordinary. When Blizzard restores items, they usually send them back to players through the in-game mail system. But hanging around on his lowly level 13 Warlock was an item that no one had ever seen before.
Really interesting.
A single shirt named Martin Fury. It had plus 34 stamina, plus 34 intellect, but an interesting flavor text that read, kills everything within a 30-yard radius. Cheater. Now, you would think that if somebody got an item with a flavor text that had the word cheater in it, they definitely, under no circumstances, would equip it, go into the latest and hardest raid with their guild, proceed to one-shot every boss, and earn a bunch of world-first kills along the way.
How have I never heard this story? That's awesome. Wait, he actually, a GM probably accidentally, I wonder if this was an accident or if a GM decided to hook him up for his troubles, but didn't think he would use it in like Ulduar. That's insane. Okay, so he goes in and he one-shots everything with a shirt that should have never been there in the first place. Probably wasn't an accident. The GM probably wanted him to have fun with it, didn't know he'd abuse it like this.
Right? Wrong. Instead of opening another ticket, enlightening Blizzard upon their mistake, Leroy decided to send a tell to his GM, showing off this glorious shirt. Afterwards, they'd form a group for Ulduar, go in there just to test it, see if it worked. And yep, pretty much it one-shot the boss. Now, you would think this is where he'd pump the brakes.
No.
I understand before.
World first, baby.
But after testing the item, yeah, it should probably be sent back, right? Wrong again. Leroy and crew would not only go on to use the shirt, but they would bump up the difficulty to the max level and then proceed to one-shot 14 bosses.
There's only
giving
100
them
charges.
Multiple world first kills, a full suite of the best items in the game, and of course a childlike sense of wonder and glee. The hardest bosses in the game at the time that other guilds were taking hours and hundreds of attempts to progress on were just falling over to the might of the shirt. They were having the time of their lives.
That is actually wild.
This is where things went wrong because they decided to fly a little too close to the sun and got burned from it. They decided to go back in and re-kill the bosses because not everyone in their guild was able to be there for the first kills. Now, they tried to keep it honest and started off by putting in some legitimate attempts, but obviously those didn't go as well because these were literally the hardest bosses in the game. They were not supposed to be easy. After a couple hours of being Boy Scouts, they decided, all right, let's just use the shirt. But the problem with doing this was that not everyone in the guild was in on the shirt. Now, this isn't confirmed or anything, but I believe that this mistake right here is what led to them getting caught. I think it's reasonable to believe that some of the people in there thought the boss was bugged, and they didn't want any loot on their account from what they thought was a bug.
True.
Because, a GM would see that and maybe ban them for using, I don't know, an exploit, something like that. So those people who were scared of their accounts getting banned decided to submit a ticket explaining everything to Blizzard. Alternatively, a different story could have been that maybe word got out Leroy had essentially what was a kill the boss button, and some people didn't feel comfortable or got upset that he had this, so they decided to rat him out to the GMs. Regardless of how it actually went down, Judgment Day would come, and boy was it intense. Both Leroy Spelts and Karate Chops were permanently banned.
Not
Anyone
Leroy
who was
again.
in the raid received a temporary ban, and anyone who was in the guild who was online at the time, regardless of whether or not they were in the raid, were locked out of their account for 24 hours. So,
they weren't even in
was
the
it worth
raid.
their entire accounts? Probably not, but I gotta admit, walking around one-shotting the hardest content in the game probably felt pretty good.
Bro, I like how his name is Leroy. Like, Leroy is really the one-shotting everyone. All right, I don't know how it's 2024 and I haven't heard this story. That's cool. If it's true, is this a true story? Is this real and true or completely fake, chat? Be honest with me. Like, if that's a true story, that is dope. Yes, true, fake, true. That was me. Okay, Leroy, what's up in the chat? True, it's an old story. Wow, that's pretty cool. Yo, Deej, thanks for sharing that one. If you guys were Leroy, would you have done the same thing and one-shot all of heroic Ulduar 25? Or would you guys have made a ticket saying, hey guys, you accidentally left me an item that one-shot? Yes. So all of you would have done what Leroy did. Honestly, I'm not saying I would break the rules necessarily, but if I was in that situation, I probably would have done something very similar, bro. Like, you have a shirt that one-shots you? Raid and then report? Yeah, raid, get all the world first, and then be like, yo, I think my my shirt is bugged. I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, that's weird, but all this loot we got is pretty legit. Go into arena with it. There's only 100 charges on the shirt though, so you'd be able to win 100 games in a row. You could get to rank 1 in arena, probably. True. Yeah. Do you guys think the GM gave it to him on purpose as like a sorry, yo, use this item for fun? Or do you think it was a complete mistake? It almost seems like the GM gave it to him on purpose. I think it was like a for fun item, and then all of a sudden the GM didn't think, oh, yeah, he can just one-shot all the raid content with it. Yeah. Anyway, never heard that one before. Thanks for linking in the reacts. Cool.